Being a writer is a magical experience. You get to create a world where your characters can come to life. And you can decide exactly what struggles your characters will face, or how big their rewards will be. But just like with everything else, writing does come with its challenges. If you're like me, one of your challenges will be working while trying to finish a novel. As a writer, you can work in various fields, but if you're lucky, you'll get a job as a writer. The thing is that a job, especially a full-time job, can cut your writing time down quite a bit. But as you know, every writer has their own processes and quirks. I'm no exception. So why don't we take a behind-the-scenes look at my writing process? A day in my writing life. I have a very limited time to work on my novels. So when I get the chance, I grab it with both hands. When I have a writing day, my plan starts the second I wake up. I'll make a huge cup of coffee, set up my working station for the day, and dive right in. If I'm starting a new novel, I'll go over my story development document. And if I'm continuing a novel I've already started, I'll go over the chapter I'm busy with to get back into the story. My best writing is done in the mornings, when there are no interruptions and there is quiet all around. This isn't because I'm not good with interruptions, but rather because things get busier during the day. So when there is peace and quiet, I can storm through the novel and knock a few chapters out before I need to put the keyboard down. Most writers try to use different schedules or methods to keep them going during a writing session. I do not. My sessions are usually planned and timed by me, and I often meet my weekly goals. However, when I'm done with a session, my work is ready to go. After finishing a chapter, I edit it with tools like ProWriting Aid and Hemingway Editor. I always check my structure as I move along so that by the time I'm done working in my draft document, my work can be moved into my manuscript document where the editors can start their work. Now you might have a question in mind. How do I pull through long writing sessions? My writing sessions are generally short, and the only breaks I take are to make coffee or a snack. The same goes for my long sessions. I tend to work for hours on end without realizing that the time has passed. But that doesn't mean it doesn't wear me out. So when all is said and done, I like to break away by watching a good movie or series. Tools that keep me going. My favorite tools are Google Docs, ProWriting Aid, and Hemingway Editor. The reason for that is that all these tools have a free version. When I say Google Docs, you might think that the purpose is self-explanatory, but I use it for more than just writing my drafts. I use Google Docs to create my story development document, my character details, and my book/series outlines. It's a great tool that can be customized in many ways. Plus, it stores your book on the cloud so you can access it from any device at any time. When it comes to checking my grammar, I won't use anything but ProWriting Aid. It's not that I haven't tried tools like Grammarly. It's that ProWriting Aid works better for a person like me. By the time I started writing, I had forgotten all about the grammar lessons I had in high school, so my first draft contained very minimal grammar. The boss I had at the time suggested Grammarly, and I instantly tried it. But I soon discovered that it wasn't the tool for me. So I did an online search, found ProWriting Aid, and started using it. The results were astonishing. The thing is, ProWriting Aid isn't just a grammar checker. It can check style and tone, tell you when you're using passive voice, improve the structure, and it can do copyright checks. Then there is the tool I need the least but still like to use, Hemingway Editor. I use Hemingway to focus on my readability. It tells you what grade your writing is in, which sentences are hard to read, and where you are using passive verbs or words that could have simpler alternatives. When it comes to hardware, I have 3 devices I swap between. My trusty MSI Prestige 15, my tablet, and my phone. Now this might have you scratching your head. Which writer uses their phone? Well, think about it. You've been working on your computer all day and you're trying to get some rest, but you can't fall asleep. An awesome idea comes to mind, but you don't want to get up and set everything up again. What do? These devices are also great for different locations. I don't want to drag my laptop around wherever I go, so I'd rather take my tablet to the coffee shop. And if I'm planning to have a day of writing on the beach, my phone is my go-to choice because it's small and convenient. Staying motivated and inspired. Writer's block is a real thing, and it seems to come out of nowhere. When it hits me, I know it's time to just step away. But how long does it last, and what do I do about it? I try not to worry about how long it lasts. We're human, and with everything else that's going on in our lives, we are bound to have moments where we can't focus on others. When I can't write, I do something else that's creative. I draw, color things in, do DIY projects, or hang out with those closest to me. The best part about hanging out with others and getting away from my laptop is that I observe the people around me. What are they doing? Are they arguing? What is an argument about? These things might seem nosy, but they actually help with writer's block because they could give you ideas for your books. I also pay attention to their body language. This is because we don't often see these things in ourselves. But they do help us describe the situation our characters are in. There are two other things that keep me going, and those are music and art. While writing, I tend to listen to dark academia, or I'll pick a theme song for my novel and listen to that. And when I have a really tough time, I'll draw or color something in. These things help to refocus my mind and bring it back to the track it needs to be on. Something personal. People often wonder if I have some kind of quirk or routine that I follow when writing. The truth is no. When I write, I'm immersed into the world that is forming in my novel. I imagine myself as the reader and try to follow the path they would like to take. Because of that, I don't have a ritual. You might wonder if it won't be easier if I did. But the truth is that I often spend days in that world, and I use those days to my advantage. However, I will admit that some of my most memorable writing moments were when I had nothing at all. I spent a good amount of time writing novels on my phone. This happened when I started off and my laptop crashed. I had no choice but to use the phone. And the truth is that those novels came out spectacularly. Another good memory was when I was writing novels in a cattery because my kitten had just been born, and I didn't want to be separated from him. Because of that, he will often interrupt my writing to get some cuddles and love. And if I don't stop, he'll turn my keyboard into a pillow. I've learned so many lessons while writing, but I think the most important one was that you shouldn't shut your friends, family, and pets out. Don't get so wrapped up in writing that you forget what it was that made you love it to begin with. Now that I've told you all about my writing process, why don't you tell me about yours? Share your behind-the-scenes moments in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. If you'd like to hear more, keep an eye out for my next blog, Bringing My Protagonists to Life. This will be a deep dive into my protagonists for my upcoming novel, The Betrayal. And lastly, if you like my blogs or would like to know more about my books, please subscribe so you can stay ahead of all the latest updates.